This is a Hot Pie Media original.
Hi, I'm Deb, and this is my podcast.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. Why racist white guys keep winning elections? Why stocks and bond yields move in opposite directions? Why Deborah calls eggplants aubergines? What color was that dress from 2015? Deborah, tell me, I don't know anything. You're listening to the Deb O'Keefe Podcast, the podcast where Deb O'Keefe doesn't know anything.
So I've not been here very long, right? I've not been at Hot Pie Media for a long time, but one of the first times I walked in here, I was handed a little bag. Oh my God, I think I still have it. Hold on. Well, there's not really many in here, but I was handed a little bag of, God, I have so much crap in my handbag. I was handed a little bag of, here they are, Early Bird CBD gummies. They had sent some to the studio for the talent, whatever you want to call us, to check out. And I was like, you know what? I've been historically terrible with CBD products in the traditional form or in however other forms have I taken it. I don't know. Everyone's always like, you got to try it in a vape pen. You got to do. No, it just doesn't work for me. All right. Smoking it makes my throat hurt. Now, with the mixture of natural THC and CBD, this is why Early Bird is different for me. I have had, I've used some CBD oils before. When my dog Blue was sick, I'd used CBD oil for him to calm him. It definitely helps. But the fact that Early Bird gummies, and this is just the strawberry flavor right here. This is, I don't know, I don't think I have a favorite. They're all amazing. But these are, it's all natural, of course, and they're full spectrum as well. I didn't really know much about that. I didn't really know how that would make a difference. It's a micro dose of THC, which makes you feel just good. It doesn't make you feel weird. And that's the way I've always tried to explain it to my THC loving friends, is that I just thought maybe it wasn't for me. And this is no joke here, but the fact that Early Bird, I don't know what they do, how they do their magic. I've got all these notes right in front of me here. And I don't know, they just make the magic. That's all I know. They have great flavors. They've got 12.5 milligrams of CBD per gummy. They've got 2.5 milligrams of THC per gummy. And maybe that's why it's working so well for me. And I've shared some of these with some of my friends. It's the exact dosing, right? You know what you're getting when your friend bakes some cookies. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know the amount that you're getting. And I don't like that feeling of not being in control of my body. And I don't get that with these Early Bird CBD gummies, CBD THC full spectrum gummies. I would highly recommend these to you. You can just do what I did. I just tried with a little nibble on the corner to actually relax me before I recorded my first podcast, because I was really nervous. I've been doing radio for 20 years and I was nervous about doing this, but to be honest, Early Bird really helped take the edge off, and I've used them in the evening to relax. Even shared them with an aficionado, I'll call him, friend of mine, my friend George. He's kind of been trying to guide me for years in this THC journey, but it hasn't worked, and he really, really enjoyed them too. So whatever your level of enjoyment when it comes to CBD or THC, think about trying it in the form of Early Bird. They come in a bunch of different flavors, 3 flavors, strawberry, watermelon, and lemon. And they're GMO-free, no pesticides. And they contain naturally derived Delta-9 THC from hemp. And of course, they're made right here in Austin, Texas. So I think that's cool. You can use my code DEB for 20% off everything on Early Bird CBD's website on a single purchase. That's earlybirdcbd.com/DEB. earlybird.com/Deb for your 20% off your first order. Check them out. They're delicious and they make you feel great. Oh, I still love that song. as much as the first time I heard it. Thanks, Star Salzman, for my awesome intro music. Today's podcast is going to be a little interesting. This is going to be, I don't know, I've never done this before. Known this person. How long have I known my guest today? 46 years, because, yeah, he's been around my entire life. No, a year, a month, and 3 days before I came into the world. This person came into the world. And ever since then, we have been inextricably linked through blood and family and friendship and relationships and everything that comes with having a brother. It's my brother, James O'Keefe, guys. Welcome to the podcast, James.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, and I love it. And I think it's just brilliant. So well done.
Thank you so much. I'm just glad you had the time because, guys, I have to tell you, I feel like such an arse. Today I was texting with my brother. We're just firming up details about the Zoom today. And didn't say a word to me. He didn't say, I've got stuff going on. He did actually say he had some time constraints, and I was like, "That's understandable. It's nighttime now where you are." So I just didn't think anything of it. He's just got plans, he's doing something. And then I'm on Instagram, and I see back-to-back posts from you and your lovely wife, my sister-in-law Beverly, with wedding pictures, and I'll throw them up here on the screen because they're beautiful, and I was there to witness it. But it's your fucking anniversary today. And I, number one, forgot. And number two was just like, yeah, James, come on my show.
It's all right.
It's one of the biggest days of the year in your relationship.
No, it's not. You got a lot going on. You got to get this stuff. And I'm just grateful that I'm on your podcast. You wanted your little brother on your podcast.
I did for so many reasons. This isn't just nepotism, listeners. I'm just having my brother on to be like, hey, my brother's really cool. But he's an interesting fellow, and I'll let him describe himself in a minute. But first of all, you and Beverly, your lovely wife, did you take her out for dinner? Did you actually get anything done today? How did you spend your anniversary?
No, so she's been in rehearsals for her new show, Drifter's Girl, which is going to be opening in the West End, which is a musical about the Faye Treadwell, who was the manager of the Drifters.
Wow.
Who was this unbelievably strong black woman, first female black manager, and just an absolute powerhouse and like a matriarchal kind of just phenomenal woman. So we're going to be really good. So
she's in rehearsals for that right now.
Yeah, she's been in rehearsals. So then she had a fitting for a thing she's going to tomorrow night. She's going to an awards show tomorrow night. So she had a fitting for that, and then she rushed home, and I just cooked her a bit of dinner and stuff and got her some flowers. I'm
sure it was lovely. Another thing, my brother did train classically as a chef, so he can whip together a few things. You're quite handy in the kitchen. But I might have to back up a little bit for some of our listeners. A lot of my listeners here in Austin know of Bev. We had you on the show before. She sung on our show before, which was just, that was an amazing moment. But Beverly Knight is an R&B singer. The Queen of UK Soul is her moniker, and is just everyone in England knows who she is. Everyone in Great Britain knows who she is, and she's had huge success as a R&B singer, but has transitioned her career into now what we would call Broadway here, but the West End, to stage shows. And I've been
acting as well,
of course, and acting. Let's not forget, she's in. You can see it now. Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime
just released the brand new reimagining of Cinderella.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer the other day and she was in it. I was like, that's my sister-in-law.
Wait till you watch it. It was just, honestly, it's actually a decent film as well. That's the reality.
That's a huge compliment, James.
Do you know what? I'm going to say it because the singing from the main artist sucks. It sucks.
Camilla Cabello.
Yeah, she can't sing.
You heard it here
it's
first.
Auto-tuned to hell. Yeah.
James O'Keefe said.
Auto-tuned to hell. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I know. I've said it's auto-tuned to hell, and what they did it in a studio, like produced the absolute bejesus out of it and then put it back in the film. So there's no like, it sounds so fake taken out of the, do you know what I mean? It feels like it needed to be in the room kind of thing, singing live. And it would have been, but apart from that, the film honestly is really well done, really funny, dialogue's brilliant, and obviously the standout performance is my wife.
Well, exactly. Is she there? You're gonna pop on and say
no? She's in the bar. She's in the bar.
In the bar. But the star of the film, of course. So you can watch that now on Amazon Prime, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing the lead singers sucking. Of course you said that. You're not going to be invited to their Christmas party now, are you?
I'm not going to be invited to anything ever anyway. So,
So here's Bev, multi-talented, singing, dancing, acting, and putting up with you for the last, how long have you been married now? 5 years, 6 years, 7?
No.
I'm the worst.
9. Debbie, 9. It's 9 years.
9?
Yeah. 14 we've been together, so
where does the time go?
People get less for murder. She could have killed me, got less,
and should have done.
Should have been out by now, enjoying her life.
I want to point out for our lovely viewers who are watching on YouTube. If you're not watching it, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch this podcast. But my brother is wearing sunglasses not because he thinks he's cool. They're not sunglasses.
I'm not Bono.
They're blue blockers because and I've been kicking myself because I've been meaning to get some, but you're not wearing them to be cool. This is a real thing that is so recommended by neurobiologists, opticians, the healthcare industry. I don't like to call it the biohacking industry because one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to, I almost don't want to give him a shout out here, but it's brilliant. It's they're called Huberman Lab, and the guy's like, I don't want to. He's brilliant. He says, I don't want to call it biohacking because you're not hacking anything. You've
health
just got
optimization.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way to put it because you've got, here you are, read this literature with some truths and facts and science and biology, and it will tell you that your body shouldn't be subjected to these types of light in the evening. In the morning, I've been learning so much more about this recently. In the morning, yes, get out there and get that bright sunshine.
Circadian rhythm and stuff. Get that morning sun,
Exactly. And then evening sun too. As the sun goes down, it helps tell your body when to get up. So now obviously James is facing a big bright light here, so you don't want to have that light on so late at night because you're going to go to bed soon because you're a good boy.
I am going to go to bed. This is usually when I'm just literally getting ready for bed. I am.
You are a good boy.
9 at night.
You are a good boy.
I'm not. I'm just a baby nowadays. I'm like. And we went out last night as well. So we went to the opening of like London's newest like super boutique hotel. It's massive, Deb. When you come over, we'll go there. It's 6 floors below Leicester Square.
How on earth did they get that done?
Exactly. And then 8 above.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's an engineering master, like a feat of engineering. It really is. I
thought you were about to tell me that you went to the unveiling of London's new tourist attraction, the Pile of Dirt.
I want to try it. I want to go there.
Oh, I've heard.
Go there.
If you're not familiar with it, it's is it by Buckingham Palace or it's where is it now?
It's
Piccadilly Circus. No, it's somewhere.
No.
Where it'll come to one of us.
It's Hyde Park Corner. Hyde Park Corner.
So it's in central London. It was supposed to be as sort of an architectural. I don't want to call it the Mound of Dirt, but that's what it is. And you're supposed to be able to see all these panoramic views of London, and apparently it's just shit, and it costs $10 million or something.
Well, that's the thing with anything that we have over here. For anyone who doesn't know, anything that happens in England. It's like a ridiculous amount of money. Like anything, a new railway line, it's like 4 billion.
We could buy an entire country for the amount.
Yeah, you could literally do anything. Like Wembley. Wembley cost ridiculous, $1 billion, and then the Olympics went over like money wise overran by about 500 million. You know what I mean?
I can't even comprehend that type of money.
It's like 4 million over. It was like 700 million over budget. You know what I mean? You just think, well, how did they get it? If I built something and I was like 700 million over budget, I'd get shot. But anyway,
you would. I'll have to check it out then when I come home. The pile of mud. Let me know how it is.
Yeah,
sounds rubbish.
Exactly. Yeah,
sounds rubbish. But all right. So to it, the reason I wanted to get you on my podcast is that, well, number one, you're my brother and you're funny, so that'd be great. Girls like looking at you. Apparently you're good looking or whatever that means. I don't know.
I couldn't find my beard trimmer pluggy anything. So I've been running around the house for 2 days now trying to find my beard thing.
This wasn't done on purpose then.
For it. And this is the grey, this is what's happening now. This is the grey beard of greyness of old age. So,
2021, the year of the greys.
Yeah, anyway. But go on, sorry. Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk about it. But you not only do you have a podcast, but I feel like you are an embodiment of what the world needs right now in so many ways. And I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass on this one. Obviously, with the Me Too climate in the last few years, we've all seen and heard so much shit and that men have been doing to women. Now, as a woman, yeah, okay, all right. So you guys didn't know this? Yeah, we knew this was happening because it's happened to us. I guarantee you, most women have been assaulted or, sexually abused in some way, shape or form. And, this pained me greatly last year with the killing of the woman in Clapham by the police officer, Sarah Everard. And American viewers and listeners may not be aware of this situation, but a young woman, 30 years old, was walking home from an evening out with friends. She was abducted and murdered by an off-duty police officer. And a lot of women showed up in the area. There's a big green space in Clapham Common, and people were basically having a sort of candlelit vigil saying, women, society needs to take care of women more. I don't even talk about how those women were treated, by the way, by the police and arrested and all this nonsense. So that's the irony of that is such bullshit,
because of COVID, because they were outdoors making a protest. But
a very
that's what
peaceful
the government's
protest.
trying to shut down. They're trying to shut down protests.
It's disgusting for something like that, especially. But what came about, the discussion that I've seen in the UK after this horrible killing of this, wonderful person, is that so many people are standing up and saying, why are women continuously and still being told that, we have to be the ones that should not be walking out late at night to go home? And I get it. I've had my head on a swivel since I was, 10 years old, walking home from anywhere. You just know. And when you're jogging or walking your dog, you don't have two headphones on. You have one on or you have it low so you can hear what's around you and you have your head on a swivel. We know we've had to do that. But the story, it needs to shift to, no, men just need to stop raping people. Men just need to stop behaving in this fashion so we don't have to adjust our lives all the time. And the conversation around toxic masculinity and male ego is huge, and we women have been having this for years, and it's wonderful to see more of it in conversation with men and men taking responsibility for their actions. And as my brother, I've obviously never never had these conversations with you, but they haven't really come up. Obviously, we've lived in different countries for 20 years, but following you on Instagram, I've learned more about your sort of journey. And this is something that I've been doing a lot of in the last year or two myself, of looking inward and saying, all right, I might not necessarily have ever sexually assaulted or harassed a male, but where have I not behaved correctly in my life, and where I could have been kinder to somebody working under me, or whatever the situation might be. And so introspection is pretty huge. And I see your journey absolutely tackling head on, to for better words, the sins of your past. And I don't even know half of the stuff that you've done because we're brother and sister and we don't talk about a lot of those things, right?
I think it's best left that way.
I'm happy with that. It's like, I don't want to talk about your sex life. I'm happy if you're happy, but I don't want to know. But yeah, conversations that we don't maybe generally have with our siblings, like with our guy friends, yes, or your female friends maybe. But how did this sort of journey of like looking inward start for you, and or how did you realize that there might be a conversation that you need to have with yourself?
Well, Well, thanks anyway for saying, like nice things. But
and it's not just because you're my brother. For a man to stand up and say, I'm having a look at myself is huge.
Here's the thing. I'm not trying to firstly off for all the blokes out there, I'm not trying to make us blame for everything and give us, look at me, I'm doing this because I'm whatever. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is just say, look, I was the worst man. I treated women badly, and I cheated on people. I lied. I did everything. And, I used to be like, well, girls, and always, it's just, and
the boys will be boys stuff of as they say.
It was a competition. Everything was a competition. How many girls can I put? How many this? What can I do? What can I get away with? And I had no respect for women when I was young. I completely lost respect for women.
Which, by the way, and again, this is not a blame game show here at all. We're just talking about the process and where you've come from and are going to. So for you to say that is really interesting to me, because our older brother was mostly absent, I would say, during our teenage years, and probably for the best. He was not the best character either. Hasn't evolved yet either.
Bless him. He might one day.
Well, we can only hope. But so it was a lot of time. It was me and you and mum, and I think for a lot of years. Well, you just to come out as my younger brother, I just, scooped you up and loved you. You were my best cuddly toy I ever had, right? Best stuffed animal, because you were alive. And we all know the stories of when I painted your nails and would dress you up in my gear. And, just because you were my best friend.
They still call me Susan on Sundays, but
fine.
That's another
You
podcast.
look good in makeup. I would just accept that side of you. But, when maybe in your teenage years or early 20s and, you were a bit wayward, and I, again, don't know all the details. I did, and I don't know if I've ever told you this. I wondered if you being my little brother and you being mum's, the baby of the family, and let's just be honest, the fucking cutest kid ever, you little bastard. You were so just cute little devil. You were a devil, but you were so cute and everybody loved you. I sometimes think, did mum and I sort of enable you to, because we did stuff for you, and you and I, we lived together for a while in college, and I feel like I probably did, I would do stuff for you that I wouldn't have done for our flatmate at all. I'm not going to pick up someone else's towels or do washing or, whatever came about. And I did wonder if being a big sister, maybe I was a part of some type of enabling of you to, I don't know. I just wondered that.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't know what it is. It's role models. It's having terrible role models. Dad wasn't great, right. So that was, towards women as well. So he wasn't a great role model. Matty was a terrible role model,
our
my brother. And I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming them for it, because that's their journey, that's their life.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be, I don't blame anyone for anything. Everyone's on their own journey. So that was my journey. And
to acknowledge these things helps you work towards being in a better place.
Yeah.
You sometimes have these aha moments of going, well, shit, that makes sense. If I didn't have anybody teaching me or just showing me by example that this is actually a really great way to live, then sometimes you don't naturally come upon those things.
Well, it's, and I suppose I think just being on a journey. Like when I was young, I did some really, really messed up things, and I was really not a good person, And
I just thought you were a little shit. I never thought you were.
But when you weren't around, and when you moved away and stuff, there's a lot you don't know about what I did and what I've been through and stuff. And we'll talk about it one day. And there was a lot. There was drink, drugs, violence, everything, all the bad stuff, girls, just madness for years and years and years. And, and even in, years gone, there's been some mad things happen. I've been through a real roller coaster of life, but deep down, when anything was bad or whatever, I always knew, or what I was doing, whenever I was being horrible or whatever, it was, now I realize it was all born out of insecurity. It was all born out of, even how my ego was born out of insecurity. It was all, it was always because I didn't feel good enough, or I didn't feel, whatever. I didn't think
we
I
didn't
was good
have enough. We didn't, have the right things.
Just everything.
Yeah.
I think, it's everything. I think it's growing up with nothing, and and then not being very good at school, and being told you're going to be nothing at school, and blah 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 blah. And then, obviously, not good role models, and then wanting to be the bad boy, and then wanting to be tough. I always wanted to be the hardest, whatever that in school, or I wanted to be the hardest, or I wanted, I don't know why, because I thought that was the way to be a man, because that was what I saw around me.
Well, we had a prime example of that living in our house most of the time. Our brother was, I find it hard sometimes to explain it to people in the States, like sort of how his reputation and how he was in our hometown. But you grow up with somebody that, someone goes, oh, you're his brother? Oh, okay. I don't know how you're supposed to, as a young boy, young man, I don't know how you're supposed to grow up with a great role model when that's the one that's right there.
Yeah, but again, no blame,
just perspective. This is all just perspective.
His journey. And then it's I think when you then into my late 20s, it was just a journey. Then you start to kind of realize, well, I'm not happy with how I am. So what's missing? What's going on? Well, it isn't, and you go through different stages, working like a maniac, drinking like a madman, doing drugs, doing this, doing that, doing whatever to self-medicate, to forget, to do whatever. And then you realize that it's none of that. It's you. You then have to forget all of that external stuff, money, women, whatever it is. You have to just look at what's going on inside, find out what the issues are, and then try and kind of let as much you as you can go, and then try to work on yourself. And and I realized that the way I was towards women, even when I got with Bev, she taught me so much about
respect,
like women's struggle, as and I didn't realize even stupid stuff, Deb, like I never knew, like when the newspaper articles, when they report something, let's say there's 6 people, 4 are men, 2 are women. They report something. So John Smith and blah, 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 Wendy Davis, but they'd always put the age of the women and not the men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd be like, I was reading it one day and it just clicked.
And you see it, don't you? Yeah.
What the hell? And I went, Bev, because she'd already told me about that. And I was still a bit like, well, Bev, you just kind of like, my own wife, I was thinking, you just over-exaggerating that, And then I'm like, holy shit.
Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, James. Yeah. It's like you have the door to a secret world has been opened. Yeah. And the way women get described as well with our outfits, or it's not like paparazzi pics of, oh, here comes James walking down the street wearing a black shirt, and it would be, here comes James and his wife Beverly sauntering down the street wearing a sultry number. We're sexualized from the day we were born, and it's even when they do the photos and they make women turn from the back. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell's that all about? Like, it's just weird. Anyway, so I just started noticing more. And I think just working on my own ego. That's been the biggest thing. Just working on my own ego. Even when I was fighting, for people who don't know, I was a professional MMA fighter. I used to have a lot of problems when I was young with fighting and violence, and I used to go to football with our older brother. And at 14, I was running around. Going to the football means you've guaranteed got a fight on your hands.
Football hooligan, basically. At 14, fighting men, and drinking like pints of beer and running around throwing glasses at police officers and shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know you were doing that.
Yeah, well, way worse.
I know, like nothing I could do about it, but I did used to threaten people sometimes who were dragging you into nonsense. I just love the story of going over to that one boy's house and telling his mum that I had some words that I was going to tell his mum, and he came to the door quickly and was like, "What? No, don't say anything." I was like, "Don't take my little brother down the fucking shops to smoke weed at lunchtime again then, or you'll be hearing from my other brother."
Unfortunately, no one was taking me anywhere. It was
you, wasn't it? Exactly. God, but still, as a big sister, I've got to try and protect you,
I know you have, and I appreciate it.
But
and
no,
I,
you're right. And I think that the ego, right, is all of our own worst enemy. We build it up sometimes, I think, to protect us from, again, like you said, what we don't have, our insecurities, our flaws, our perceived flaws, whatever they might be. And then they just gradually just take a hold of us, and we're not making those decisions for ourselves anymore. We've got this other, right, this other version of us that is a real fucking asshole. And dividing the two of them apart is really huge.
You know what it is as well, Dave, is I got fed up. I'm fed up, and I still am today with having my default emotion as anger, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. I didn't, and all the reading I've done, the extreme ownership, I take everything as extreme ownership, and what that means is that every situation that happens to me, I control how I react.
Exactly.
Not, if someone cuts me up, well, it's how I react, not how they, so. And I'm still learning. I'm still trying to get better every day, and there's still things that get me. Someone, like in a car earlier, someone came across a zebra crossing, and Zane was with me. So straight away, I go into
Zane's my nephew. He's a dog.
Yeah, and I get into my like angry mode and go, well, but I've got to just take a breath. And now I try and take a breath and think, well, what happened? Like Oprah Winfrey wrote a book called "What Happened to You." And I think it's come out recently, and it's, instead of asking what's wrong with them or what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you.
Exactly. It's such a true story. You have to think, if somebody pisses you off in traffic or cuts you off or is just a real asshole for no reason, they might have just had some really terrible news given to them. That not only what happened in that moment, but you're right, their entire life, what happened to them to make them that way, and not giving them the power to let that affect you and your day and your loved ones but it is a huge struggle. And it's also, it's hard. It's hard. Like my default emotion is, instead of anger, I think, or has been, is like, I get anxious and I react, and the reactions can be in multiple different ways, oftentimes not correct, but the reactions are way too quick. And so I've been working for years now on that that pause, that moment, of
so
just
hard though,
having a word with yourself. It is really hard, because every cell
especially
of you wants to react.
as well.
Yes.
Like, we've had our, everyone should know we've had our differences.
Huge,
we've had times where we haven't talked. We've had arguments. We've had, and that
years of not talking about, or not talking at all.
Yeah.
Because we evoke something or something about the other one. Exactly. And puts us back to that position of feeling like the underdog or the unpowerful person.
Do you know what? One of the best things I ever read that has rung true to me, that that resonated with me so massively, was our thoughts and our lie to us. Like the things that we remember, they're lies. Some of them are lies. They're not real. Like it was our emotions that we felt. It wasn't the way we remember stuff. Isn't always the way it happens.
Not at all.
We have to think about our past and go, well, did that happen? And that's let a lot of anger and frustration and things go from the past. And then you can go, okay, so you kind of can slate that off and just go, okay. And then you can, it feels like it just feels like I've shed a load of stuff.
Right.
I think also, what you wanted to talk about is going to this man thing that I went to as well.
Man thing.
And
can I go to this man thing?
The man retreat thing.
Sounds delicious.
You wouldn't like it.
Okay.
It's really not. It was heavy work.
No, I'm joking, of course. But you're talking about, before we move on, I do want to talk about the SIP project. We didn't get the man thing.
So,
you're right. This is what I've been working on I do a guided meditation every day with a leader, and I have a lot of emotion that are attached to memories and incidences, traumas and perceived traumas and such things. And a lot of them, for me, were around my dog Blue. I have just a couple years before Blue was even sick before he passed away. I just had the worst. I don't even know what the feeling was that just. I shouldn't tell you. I'm going to tell you because it came up. I wanted to kill myself when in that moment that when Blue died, I'd already told myself that there was nothing to live for. That, you know, it was me and him against the world. And that was like before he was even sick. I had just this like future fear of not having him with me. And I don't talk about it a lot because I do cry, but I cry way less when I talk about him, because I've had to take those memories of him and those worries of me worrying about him when he wasn't even ill, and to subtract them from the emotion, like have those wonderful memories. And even I have 4 animals now, and they're all going to die before me, more than likely. I can't set myself up for failure with that in the thought process wise either. So I'm just with them. I'm living in the now. Today is the day, right? The Power of Now. It's a great book that I read, and you'd love it if you haven't read it.
Eckhart Tolle, I've read it.
Brilliant. Of course, it talks about separating yourself from the self and the ego, and it's all of that. So I live in the now with them. And
have you listened to his voice, by the way? Have you ever heard him talk?
Yes.
Yeah, he's so
interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's like this.
Oh, you're a German professor.
It's just,
it's very interesting. If you haven't, that's a good one to put on your list to read. But my meditation helps me with a lot of this, is sifting through they call them false pictures, memories that like your brain, and you take these pictures every day, but they're not real. They're not the ones you're living. We're living here. So I've now also taken the emotion out of a lot of those things from my past, and just try to move forward with the facts that I remember them of those incidents, and try and strip the emotion away from them that is causing me pain. And that's what we got to keep moving forward with that.
It's such an important thing to do, but it takes work. You can't just
it doesn't happen in a day.
Some people might be able to just detach, and I think that's another skill as well, detachment. And that's a balance. That's a tricky balance, because you don't want to get too detached, which is what I was,
right? And then you're off. You have no connection, right?
Yeah, because then you don't care. And I was that was me, and particularly with the way I treated women and the way I that was a big thing. Was like a detachment of like it doesn't matter.
This doesn't matter. Yeah.
So but
no, you're right. There's a healthy balance of that, of learning to not be too attached, but not be too unattached.
Yeah, but that's also what I love about life. Is part of that is that balance. It's a game of life. I genuinely believe it's a game of life, because you don't ever master it. And it's like, it's like snakes and ladders, you go up that ladder and then down the snake, but you don't give up. You just then keep going again.
You play that forever.
But I mean, everyone loves snakes and ladders, the game, don't they? It's and then you're like,
shoots and ladders here. Life. They don't have snakes, James, here.
Oh, right.
They have shoots. What's a hang on?
Let's.
Gee, what's a shoot?
I'm the wrong person.
Oh yeah, he's from Barbados. You don't know, right? Barbados. Antigua.
Let's
you don't know.
Over that.
So it's like a
We'll ignore that.
It's like a tube or something.
We'll ignore that.
All right, so snakes and ladders. Yeah. No, you're right though. Good point. Snakes and ladders. Yeah, life.
So that's how I feel about it, and I love that. I love that part of it, and I've had some.
You've had some snakes, haven't you?
Downs.
You've had some snakes.
Like. Seriously, like would make your hair curl on end now if I told you so. We'll leave that for another time.
In person talk. Box of tissues.
But it's great, because I don't want to make you cry, basically.
Again
on your podcast.
Oh, don't worry, it'll happen.
But
I'm really happy to hear
that's the whole journey.
Yeah, it's still going, right? We never end. Even though I do hate the phrase "on my journey" because it just makes me think of The Bachelor.
I feel like my one is work in progress.
Yeah, that's
with everything, with my physique, with my brain, with my energy, with with everything is I'm a work in progress, and
it's a good mindset to have, because if you look at other people and say, well, they're perfect and I want that, then you will never achieve any level of success. But you don't know what the shit is going on behind closed doors. Absolutely nobody is perfect. We're all working on our shit.
I mean, I'm close, but just not there.
Yeah. Where's Beverly? Let's put Beverly on the phone. Let's put Zane on the phone. Let me ask him if you're...
No, shit. Let's not do that.
I did hear it a minute ago making a smoothie or a cup of tea or something in the background.
It wasn't. It was something going on. I don't know what. It's probably it started to rain here, which is a bit odd. But,
anyway.
It's been like 29. So 9 years ago, it was 27 degrees.
It was so hot at your wedding.
Yeah.
It's 27 degrees is about 90. Right?
Yeah, it was 28 today.
That's very, very rare for you lot. Are you dying or are you loving it? You love it, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like, sun worshipper.
It was about that today here too, James. Let me just tell you. Shut up, watch. I just found my watch after not having it for a year, my Apple Watch, and I've forgotten how to use it. It's 99 outside today.
Okay, that's good.
It's not as horrible.
I like that. I like that.
I know, it's sweaty ass crack all day long then. All right, so another thing that I've learned about you since being friends with you on Instagram, this is maybe why you should follow your family members. Mum, don't follow me. I do swear a lot, but
yeah, I know. Very uncouth. Not like me.
I am.
I'm very posh. I don't know what happened. I'm the posh one.
Moving on from that one, you found out about this thing called the SIP Project and have been participating in these men's retreats. And as part of, there's another brick, let's say, on your path of life. How is that? And tell us, of course, what it all is, and tell us how that has affected you or helped you grow. Because I want every man in the world to think about something like this.
Yeah, me too. And that, I'll tell you what, I want that to be my mission now. But anyway, so yeah, going back, I had quite a big down. Again, I won't tell you about it, but I had quite a big down a couple of years ago. And I was just feeling pretty low, like really, really, really low. And I was just on it. Something came through my email, a breathwork day, and it was basically get 100 men in a room, do breathwork, ice bath, and just then a talk,
Had you done any breathwork or
I've done
temperature therapy and stuff before?
Yeah, done some breath and the cold and stuff. I was dabbling in it over the last 3 or 4 years, which really helped me. The cold water has helped me mentally, has helped me probably more, than a lot of things.
I know you keep telling me definitely. I've got to get a chest freezer and stick it in the back garden like you have. And I did a 5-day
I know you did.
Ice bath challenge.
Day?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I just put 5 on Instagram because it was getting boring watching me get in and out of the tub. But
I know, that's the only thing you do. Yeah, it is like one of them things where you want people. How are you going to change it every day?
I'm not going to show anyone this anymore. I'm bored looking at it. But no, the experience was
chest freezer.
Was really interesting.
When I come over, we'll go and buy one. I'll set it up and we'll do it.
I was sitting there with all the squirrels in the back garden.
Yeah, get them in there. But so I did this day, and there was a guy called Michael Maisie on it. And he wrote a book called Young Offender. I think it's called Young Offender. And he was basically a real wrong one when he was young, went to prison, really messed up shit, did all the stuff. And I had a lot of similarities to him. I felt a lot of
kinship.
But I also felt weirdly, and here's the thing, like the older I'm getting, the more honest I'm being with myself about my emotions. I get combative towards some men, and I'm like, and then I know it's because it's my insecurity. I think they're better than me, or, in any way. So
you walk in a room and you size them up immediately, just to see.
Anyway.
Like,
so here's the thing with me. I'm a weird one. I don't know where this comes from. But every time I go in a room, I size up who's in there, who might be a problem, and how I would deal with them, and how I could get out of that room. Always. I don't know what it is, but I've got this innate thing built in me, and I've heard SAS people talk about it. Not that I'm, I don't think I'm like some SAS person, but I go in a room and I check what like how I'd get out of there, and then who is the threat in there. And then it's weird. And I'm already talking to myself like, well, how would I deal with them? Are they big? Are they, what would I do?
What could I use?
Weird.
Is there a chair leg I can pull off?
Or is it just me? Am I just going to have to like choke them to death? Or, you know what I mean? I just,
and that's interesting to walk into a room like a therapy room essentially, and have those feelings as well, and sort of have
telling you,
have a word with yourself.
It's frustrating, but it's it's tiring, and that's the other thing. It's
I can only imagine.
Yeah. So
the influence of toxic masculinity is not just felt by women. We're not the only victims of it. You're victims of it as well. And it's the societies that we have built. We must have done this. Oh, obviously men did it to ourselves years and years and years ago when they were in charge of everything. And a lot of that a lot of men have held on to that because they can't bear the thought of not having that power, but without realizing the more inequities it created within their own groups. The constant sizing up, the constant swinging dick competition, and the constant what is he driving, what has he got, and I've dated a couple of guys, just a couple ever, but who have been either military or whatever, and they are the same way. They walk in and they will not sit in a table where they can't see the door. They will not sit in a position. And I get it. And I always, acquiesce to it because it's no skin off my nose. And especially if they have served. My ex-boyfriend, him, he was in the military for 11 years and did a couple tours in Afghanistan. And so I respect that might be an issue and I'm fine with it. But for other people who maybe haven't had that situation, like yourself, you haven't served in the military, it's I can imagine, like you said, it's tiring, it's exhausting to constantly be on guard. It's exhausting for you.
It's a weird one. So anyway, so that was kind of like, I saw this guy, Michael Macy, and I straight away was a bit like, I didn't really feel his energy, but I think that was my energy. It was me portraying how I felt.
Yeah, you were blocking it, yeah.
So I followed him on Instagram and then just didn't really, take much notice of him for the next little while. But then I saw he was doing this SIP project.
SIP, CIP.
I was like,
it's an
CIP,
acronym.
Change is Possible. Yeah. So I thought, let me have a look at it. And it was a weekend coming up and I just thought, it doesn't even give you much info about it. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
It's like sign up, show up. We'll do it.
200 quid and I'll drive all the way to Devon and I'll go and do it. But my friend Jay, who you know on Instagram, he came with me. But him being him, he was he's brilliant and an amazing guy, but because he's dyslexic and stuff, I had to give him all the information about 84 times because he forgot it every time. And it was like for the 2 weeks beforehand, every day he was asking me the same questions about what he needs and I'd tell him the same things. And anyway, I was like, my mind was insane before we got there. And then the day before we went, he told me he's got to leave early. So I tried to get in touch with Michael, couldn't get in touch with him, drove there. We're halfway there. Michael responds saying, oh no, he can't come. So he's in the car with me halfway to Devon.
So it's a good few hours you've been in the car.
Two and a half hours in, we're in. And then I had to drop him off at a train station. We're already late. So I dropped him off at a train station. He had
because
to get
there was
the train back to London.
No coming back out of it early. Like you had to do the whole 3 days or whatever it was.
No, you had to do the whole from Friday to Sunday after, you have to because it's all part of the process.
Right.
And then
the commitment.
So then I had to deal with my emotions.
So then you're annoyed about it probably and worried about your friend and
exactly. And I was I was like, come on, mate, what, so I was trying to remonstrate with him, and me being me with my ego was like, well, come on, what's the big deal? So I then had to get there, deal with my feelings towards this Michael again. I had to then so it was all this mad shit going on. And then I get there and we're straight into like this sweat lodge and then, meeting these 17 other guys who are like various things, reform drugs, drink, some violence, some this, some that, some been to prison, some just struggling, some just a normal, 20-year-old lads, brothers, all sorts there.
But everybody, the one thing that unites you all is you're all open-minded enough to take that first step, to take that step and sign up for that course and then show up for that course. That's huge for a lot of people that will never take that first step. They maybe even see that there's something not right inside. There's something not right with the way they're acting, but they're in just the inability to do anything about it is what freezes them, in their current position.
And it's hard. It's difficult, because it's sometimes hard to think, like the whole kind of Me Too thing, and even some of the race thing and everything is people think because like Black Lives Matter and stuff, people think, well, all lives matter. It's not what people are saying. It's the same as like the Me Too thing. Is then women aren't saying that all men are rapists.
Right. Not at all.
We do have, all of us have the capabilities to rape. There's no doubt about it. But it doesn't mean we all are. So just calm down and let's, if you're not, then you've got nothing to think about.
Exactly. When you're saying calm down, you're saying calm down to the men who are getting all up in arms about.
Yeah,
right.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Not
no, and the white people that are saying blue lives matter or all lives matter. It's not. We're not picking on you specifically. We're just saying that this needs to be addressed.
Yeah. And that's the reality, and that's what I've learned. When I was younger, I wasn't PC. I was a bit bigoted. I was a bit. I wasn't. Just didn't have that emotional intelligence, because of the situations I was in and because of how I thought I had to act to be a tough man, to not show any weakness and not, and so, it's a real, anyway, so we're on this course and I'm an honest person anyway, and the older I'm getting, I'm more honest, and the more I just want to connect with people and I don't want flim flam relationships, I don't want to be in a room full of men and we just talk about
the weather, the football,
women, and then
whatever.
I'm like, watches.
I don't have time for vapid relationships.
So boring.
Yeah.
I'm 45. I'm 45 years old. I might only have 40 years left on this earth. I need to I need to get some shit done. So,
that's your next tattoo.
So that was the premise of, but it's basically bearing your soul, working through it with 17 other men, hugging men, emotional contact. So you would walk around 17 men and then stop and look in another man's eyes for like a minute. And that is so brutally hard to do. And then you would ask, a certain question, and then you would have to give your feelings and it's stunning. And then you would be honored to watch other people work through their stuff.
Yeah.
And, you'd be involved in that to someone who had horrific things happen to them when they were young or old or whatever, and working through it, and then you do it. And it was life-changing. And I came back from that.
That's giving me goosebumps.
Emotionally.
That's just beautiful.
It's
beautiful to witness.
It's unbelievable. And, it was amazing. So, and I met some really, really beautiful men on that one, and had some, still relationships with some of them, and we talk, and and then this second one came up, and the course is based on Carl Jung's theory of warrior, magician, lover, and king. So you have in his believings, in his teachings, you had kind of inflated warrior, deflated warrior, inflated king, deflated king. And, we men go through all of them, can go through all of them hour to hour. Then, you can go inflated, deflated, you can be strong, so it's mad. And it's so true that when you read like these archetypes that you're like, wow, that is me then. And then I'm like that then. And then it's just nuts. And so,
wonderful that this guy, Michael, went through his own shit, obviously, and a lot of it, and is now reaching out to anybody to look inside and heal.
And he's saving lives, Debbie. He's saving people are getting in touch with him who want to kill themselves, and he's saying, just come along, you don't have to pay, and just come. And they come, and their lives are saved, genuinely.
Oh, we'll have a word then. Let's have him on the podcast and see if he can change something.
Oh yeah, I will. No, he's a good guy. You'll like him, and he's not bad to look at either. The boy.
That's nice. I was going to mention earlier, you're having a very deep moment, but you were saying you walk in a room and you size them up who you could, take in a fight. And I'm like, when I walk on a plane or if I'm in a room, I'm like, well, if we were on a desert island, which one of these would I choose for my lair? So it's slightly different the way I size them up.
Yeah,
a little bit differently. But I mean, I could talk to you forever and ever, and of course, I will talk to you again soon, probably tomorrow, if you're all right with that. I mean, not on the podcast, but I as a fellow human being, it warms the cockles of my soul to see anybody doing well, right? Anybody being happy, anybody succeeding in whatever way they're succeeding, and then you take it on another level, and you're my brother, you're my family, you're you're my blood. You were my best friend for most of my life. You know, I count you as one of my best friends now, but I'm talking as a child. You were like right there. People thought we were twins. We were always together. That it just makes me, I can't even give you the level of happiness that you are on your journey, like on The Bachelor. But you're working so hard on yourself, and it is affecting everyone around you. It really does. It really affects. I mean, I'm sure strangers that you meet get affected by you because you've got this different energy to give to people, you know? And
do you know, Deb, I've decided I want to help people, and I want to help men. You know, the real aim is to help men to shed the insecurity and the ego, and to just feel, and just to get rid of that. I think if we can get rid of that default mode being anger, and then it's like, and how I'm going to do that is, I don't know yet. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. But I'm going to start off with, getting some men. We're going to go a bit cold water swimming. It's not that cold at the moment, but it is for some people.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And then we're just going to sit around and we're just going to talk. And there's going to be 5 or 6 of us, and then I'm going to grow it. And I don't know how yet. But I want to help men, especially to start with. And it's not exclusively men, but I think for now I want to help men just take a step back and realize that they don't have to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And
I know,
I'm still on that journey, and I'm not a guru saying that, they should do this, that, or the other, but this is stuff that I've gone through, and I've gone through every single bad thing that you could have happen to a person, everything. Both of us have had difficulties when we were young, parents split up, dad dying, alcoholic, drink, drugs, all of that stuff, bad shit, violence, mad shit happen, lose this, do that, everything bad has gone that way and that way, and I've come through all of it, and I've still got the spirit in me is never die, never say, never give up. I wake up every day because of the systems I've got in place to try and to help my mental
feed yourself, feed your soul.
Yeah, nourish my soul and all that. That I wake up every day with an excitement, and even if I don't get to wherever I want to get to, and I don't even know where that is yet because I've changed things so many times, done so many things, but I don't care. I'm like 45, and I feel like my life's just beginning. I really do.
I think this side of your life really is. And when you said, you want to help
Second
men.
Mountain, Deb, there's a book. Have you read the book Second Mountain?
No, but I'm just starting mine now, aren't I? So I'm very,
well, that's what I mean.
Very relatable. This is
it.
The beginning of a new chapter. Yeah. But I think, and just one last thing I want to say about the way you feel about this and what you want to do, it is really important for men that these male specific groups happen, or male specific therapy, or unlearning, right? I don't want to say we've got to retrain sometimes. We just unlearn a lot of that old bullshit, right? That was instilled within us from wherever and everywhere. But women, as much as we still are second class citizens, let alone women of color and gay women of color and of not just like not the standard religion or whatever lifestyle that there are way more women that suffer heavily than this straight white woman over here. But we have oftentimes within our society that we create for ourselves, we have that person that we can speak to, women speaking to other women. We oftentimes have a way, we will be very vulnerable with certain people's in our lives, and so many men have never had that or will never have that. And just because you're a man doesn't mean you don't deserve a hug. You don't need to talk to somebody about your feelings. And they're just the simple things, right? So I do think it's really important. And it's like you said earlier, when, I say women's rights matter, women's reproductive rights matter, and Black Lives Matter. I'm not trying to say that everyone else doesn't matter, but this is something specific that needs to be paid attention to. And we're all crying out for men to stop raping women as much. Well, let's feed their soul and, treat them the way that they should be treated, and help them learn that they don't have to be living in this world that they have always been living in.
And that's the thing. And the beautiful thing is about how I feel is that I want to help men, and it's not bashing men. It's not bashing they're my people, and I've been that alpha kind of like, that person. I have. I've been that, I've been every different archetype of man. It's not. There's no. Someone can't go, well, oh, what do you know about that? And I'll be like, no, bitch, I was that. You know what I mean? And no, yeah, I did do that. And yeah, I did do that. And yeah, every single bad thing you can think of and good thing I've and not, like in a know-it-all way, but I've been through that struggle. I've fought back from that. I've felt suicidal. I've done, all of those stuff. I've gone through it all, and I've come out of the other side within a spirit of now just wanting to serve and help other men not go through it. And if I can, and I know
James,
that
if you can only rescue one person, right? And I don't mean like rescue.
We want it as well, Deb.
Yeah, you do.
I know
you need
we want it because I see it. I speak to people, and now because in this course, I've been on 2 courses now. It's made me speak differently as well, and it's made me in social circumstances now. It's made me even more confident of me not having to drink or not having to do whatever, and not be a certain way, not talk about certain. I don't have to do it, and it's given me more power now to be even more different than I was before.
It's crazy, isn't it? That mindset of the thought patterns that we need to control everything in order to be in charge or have everything, but no, you have to relinquish everything.
Yeah, just vulnerability. I want to show men
the moment
that that this person who was, was an MMA fighter. I was this, I was that. I did all of those things and rah, 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 rah. I wasn't very good at school. I didn't have any education. I didn't, I got no massive talent, where I had this talent where I could just do anything. I had to hustle and work and strive and everything for everything. If I can do it, if I can go through all of that, then so can you.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to really give power to men. That makes
down.
Women's lives better.
Yeah,
it makes women's. Growing up with my mum and my sister, I've got a huge affinity with women. I like being around women, talking and that energy. I love that. And I want to make their lives better. And if this does that, and I said already, it sounds like I'm doing a bloody Miss World competition. I'm just,
I just want world peace.
I just want world peace between men and women.
Can everyone just get along?
Because I'm just,
I think they're supposed to be doing more than that on Miss World now, but no, I feel you.
Yeah.
You've got the hair for Miss World as well.
That's it in a nutshell, Deb. So that's what I want to do.
Well, I'm going to post on the links down below where everyone can follow you, but it's just James O'Keefe NRG, and we follow each other on Instagram, so it's easy to find. And well, I look forward to your self-help book that's going to come out, James, and your courses that I can attend with. Going to have like mountain climbing and random, just very spontaneous triathlons.
Things, goat herding and stuff.
Right, definitely. Always got to bring the goats.
No one's done a goat herding challenge, have they?
No, I don't know.
No,
let's look into it. I'll be an investor.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Look, it's past your bedtime,
all right,
sir.
All right. Yeah.
You got to go to bed.
Holy guacamole! Yeah.
Go and get those blue blockers off you, old man. Love you loads. Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. So proud of you as well.
Thank you. I love you so much.
All right. All right, darling.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
The wave, Zoom wave.
Bye. It's going to freeze. All right, get off. Get out of here. You can kick him off now, G. Get him out of here. Love you, James. Oh, my little brother. God, how cute was he as a kid? I mean, apparently ladies think he's nice now. I don't know. He's my brother. I can't really talk about that. You know what I didn't talk about was how many of my friends have slept with my brother. It's disgusting. In fact, not just with one brother, my other brother too. My real brothers are actual real life Eskimo brothers as well. They have slept with the same of my friends. It's kind of disgusting, but anyway, big thanks to James. If you want to follow him on Instagram, it's James O'Keefe NRG. And thanks to you for listening. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that planted a seed in your head to think about a conversation that you want to have with yourself or with the other men in your life. If you're a dude or if you're a lady, talk to your brother. I never thought my brother was a jerk to women. I didn't know that. Weird, very, very weird. But coming out the other side of it, I think he's a pretty cool dude. So thank you, Early Bird CBD, for not just supporting my podcast, but providing me with some of their delicious gummies. You know where to find them. And we'll see you next time on the Deborah Keefe podcast. Love you.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all of our other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home online at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.